Oh, yeah, it's Paul the Pipe Guy, yeah. Live from the outskirts of Rochester, New York, in the United States of America, thank the Lord. And yeah, it is Tuesday night. My good friend Scotty, my loan officer for my house, just left with some of my paperwork. And yeah, so it is the 6th of May, 2025. Yeah, so let's have a Tuesday night smoke together. So grab your favorite pipe, grab your favorite blend, and grab your favorite beverage, and let's start something on fire. Yeah. Yeah, so cheers. We have a Busch beer here tonight. Yep. And my buddy Scott, who I've known for 18 years, who's my loan officer for the home I'm buying. Great guy. He's like, oh, you got some more documentation for me? I was like, yeah, but it's a lot. All right, I'll be over there in 20 minutes. He came over. We had some beers together. He actually had one beer. And yeah, so I was like, all right, here's how the story goes with this portion and blah, blah, blah. And, I played it all out. And he's like, I think that's great. I think it's going to work. And he's like, because it's honest, you have documentation supporting your statements, more documentation than they would probably ever need. And yeah. So, so he left with all that stuff, and it was good to see him. I truly love him like a brother. He's just a great guy. We're about the same age. I think he's like 6 months older than I am. Cheers. Yeah, so we're like pounding for a final approval. And he's like, okay, they want these 8 stipulations with documentation and this and that. That's what happens when you buy a house. They want all kinds of stuff. And he said, he's like, all right, why don't we get it all together and then we'll send it to him. And I was thinking to myself, this guy's smart. That makes total sense. Because if we send one piece of documentation over to meet one stipulation out of 8, the bank is going to look at it and they're going to look at it with a microscope. If we send them 50 pages of documentation of all 8 things they want, they're going to be like, and they're going to look through them and, time would be on my side because they're going to have to rush through it and be like, all right, approved, blah, blah, blah. And then instead of the microscope on each one, so, and yeah, so it's all going to work out. Yeah, it will. And I'm losing weight. You can see my face is getting thinner. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so a little funny story. Probably shouldn't tell it. So, so, so I gave my buddy, not my loan officer, another buddy, I gave him like 6 Viagra, which, when you get to be in your 50s and 60s and you're a smoker and stuff like that, it's not like you're 18 anymore. And those of you that are my age understand that. And so he's like, hey man, I tried one of those and it only worked a little bit. It's like, what do you mean a little bit? what do you mean by a little bit? He's like, well, my girlfriend was coming over and I had like 15 drinks and I smoked a joint before she got there and then I took one. It's like, well, dude, you can't do that. Okay? You have to have, like, sit her down, have a nice dinner for her or whatever, and have like one or two glasses of wine. You can't have 15 drinks and smoke a whole joint and expect this is going to work for you, you know? He's like, well, why not? I don't know. It's just, dude, please, just trust me. He's like, she was all pissed off. I was like, well, no shit, dude. You know, he said when she showed up, I was sitting on my deck, all fucked up, smoking a cigarette. I was like, dude, that ain't gonna do nothing for your John Thomas if you've had 15 drinks and smoked a whole joint. There's no way. My jaw is hurting so bad right now because I'm laughing so hard. And I says, yeah, just 2-3 glasses of wine or something like that. And then if you want 15 drinks after that, do that. After you take the pill, get the job done, it'll be like that. It'll be like, Paul the Putt guy's bicep, when you were 18 years old, I said, if you had 15 drinks, you wouldn't be able to do shit either. Yeah, you're right. I says, come on, man, use some common sense. It's not like a cure-all thing where you can do whatever you want to your body. It's going to, like, put down your sexual drive and make you a limp dick, and then take one of those and think that it's going to do miracles. All right? It just doesn't work that way, I'm not a doctor, so don't take my advice. Just, if you're going to do one of those, don't drink. Oh, yeah. Oh, this woolly mammoth. Still great the next day. A lot of these blends are still great the next day, but there's a few blends that if you smoke half a bowl and then you go to pick it up the next night, they taste horrible. It's like restarting a cigarette or something. It just tastes bad. But there's some other blends that just, you can pick right up where you left off, You'll figure it out. I love this sound. Oh, yeah. So back to the Viagra thing. I don't care if you're 16 years old. If you drink 10 or 15 drinks, smoke a whole joint. First of all, if you're like 16 years old, you're going to be puking out your nose. Now, if you're an older guy who's built up a tolerance, all right, that's fine. You can do that. But it's not a miracle pill, dude. After you do all of that stuff, drink 10 or 15 drinks, smoke a whole joint, take one of those and think that you're going to be like, like you're 18 and just had 3 beers, all right? It doesn't work like that. I'm getting back into shape, man. I'm looking at myself on camera, dude. I'm getting back in shape. Yeah, getting back to my old, fighting weight, all that stuff. And I'm going to get this house. And, telling you guys about this Viagra story and all that stuff, As it's the truth, but it's humorous because the guy is an idiot. You just can't do that. Well, I'm not going to repeat myself anymore, but you get it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Got this gorgeous pipe. Got this gorgeous blend. Wonderful blend. Which is almost burnt out, Yeah. So part of I don't know, the reason why I think I'm losing weight is I'm eating better and I'm drinking a lot more water, which I got away from drinking the proper amount of water. Actually was dehydrated. And that puffs your face up and all that stuff. Oh yeah. This is good smoking pipe. Great blend. Oh yeah. Yeah. Can you hear my dryer in the background? Drying some of my clothes. Yeah. Well, in a minute, I think we're going to graduate to a cigarette because this bowl is burned out and I don't feel like filling another one up. Yeah. We'll be right back in a nanosecond. Man, I'm looking at, I swear to God, I'm looking at the video here. My face seems so much thinner. And, like I said, I've been working out at work. Doing work. That's the way real men work out, is doing work. Hard work. So yeah, so it was good to see my buddy Scott, who's also my loan officer, responsible for getting all the documentation, everything that it takes to get my loan approval so I can get my new house. And when I get my new house, I know I've talked about Viagra and other things and girlfriends and stuff. No, but in all seriousness, when I get my new house, which I will, I believe I will. I don't have control over that. Only God does and the bank does, all right? But I do believe that I know it's going to happen. It has to happen. God doesn't start something and not finish it. So we've joked around about all this other stuff, but in all seriousness, when I move in there, I'm going to have a pastor come in. I'm going to have him bless the house, and we're together going to dedicate the house to the Lord. And then after that, I'm going to refer to the house as the House of the Blues, because it's blue. Yeah. I'm going to light up a cigarette now. Yeah. We're graduating to a cigarette. Now, little thing here. If you carry your Bic lighter around in your pocket all day, every day, you're going to get pocket lint that goes down in that hole right there. All right. And I just discovered this because I thought this lighter was burned out. And I'm like, click, and nothing's coming up. No flame. No flame at all. And I'm looking down in there. I was like, oh, there's a shit ton of lint in there. Tried blowing it out, and then finally I grabbed my pipe tool and picked it all out. Gave it an extra blow, and she lit right up. So yeah, so don't waste your Bic lighters. If they get lint in them, or even if they get a little damp, they're not going to light. These are made in the United States of America, okay? They are great tools. It's one of the few things that create fire that's made in the USA, all right? Flamethrower. My buddy Melbourne calls me flamethrower. I don't know why. I don't know, whatever. I don't know. Back when I used to go to concerts back in the 80s, there was a way of busting apart your Bic lighter and like turning it way up. So instead of the flame going up like 1 inch high, it'd go up like 7 or 8 inches high. And you could adjust it and be like, yeah, and there'd be a huge flame coming out. And that's what the rock stars of that day back in the 80s saw. And they were like, yeah, it created a ton of enthusiasm and excitement for them. Guess what they have now at concerts? Because our nation has become pussified. They have glow sticks. You get a glow stick that's that long. You snap it, and it's like, yay! With your big man bun up here, yay! Come on. Let's start something on fire. We never started any rock stadiums on fire, all right? Now they got glow sticks. It's like, okay, you got your cute little glowworm, all right? Oh, that's so cute. I'm sure that excites like Ted Nugent, all right? I had the opportunity to go see Ted Nugent. We weren't allowed a Bic lighter in there, okay? When I saw him originally in 1980, we had him going like that high. And Ted fucking loved it. And so, but 2 years ago, I went and saw him. The average age of the viewer, the average age of the person at the concert that I saw, Ted Nugent concert 2 years ago, was probably about 70 years old, okay? I mean, there was girls up there with gray hair dancing that probably saw him in the 70s, all right? I didn't see one glow stick, all right? Not at all. That's a pussified way to be at a rock concert. My glow stick, oh. I don't know. That's all I'm going to say about it, What the fuck? Oh, yeah. So I'm just so glad that things are progressing. There's one key thing that the bank has to throw out. They wanted this one key thing because of this other thing. I disproved this thing, which means that this other thing that they wanted, because they wanted to see proof of this, now that I disabled that and said, oh no, that's not the case, this big thing, they should let it go. And that's what I'm praying for, all right? They want to see a bunch of tax returns because they think I own a corporation. So I got a letter from New York State. It says, your corporation was dissolved back in 2016. So therefore, since it was dissolved, I shouldn't have to show corporate taxes, right? Makes sense to me. If it's dissolved, there's no tax returns. So they got to let that go. I'm hoping, I'm praying. That is the big turning point in me getting this house. So pray for that the underwriter is going to be like, yeah, the company was dissolved, so there is no tax returns. We don't need tax returns. Thank you. They wanted tax returns for 2023, 2024. I can't produce them. There's no corporation left. So really, by process of elimination, they should just throw that out. Yeah. And hopefully they do. If they don't, then I don't get the house. So pray that with that letter showing that the corporation was dissolved, they'll say, oh, okay, corporation was dissolved. We don't need those tax returns. All right, you're all set, Mr. Gilson. Yeah, we're clear to close. Yeah, you can, yeah. You're going to close on June 2nd, and then you can move in. Anyways, those of you who have followed me this long, pray for that. I need your prayers. I really do. Because these bank underwriters, they have certain standards, and they don't understand really how things in life really work. I don't know. And so hopefully this one will be like, have some intelligence in this person's head and be like, all right, Mr. Gilson, you are all set. That's what I'm praying for. Yeah, keep praying that for me. Yeah. Anyways, Paul the Pipe Guy, I'm going to have one more beer, and then I'm going to make myself some dinner, and I'm going to go to bed. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Yeah. Peace out.